Good day. My name is Cecil Marie M. Hembrador, and I'm going to do the PT1 for our subject CPE119-41L. So here are first we're going to do the user profile. As you can see here, I've already done it. And then let's check for the instructions. First, we're going to do the housekeeping, then the IPv4 address assignment, and then the OSPF v2 configuration for the R1, R2, and RT. And then OSPF v2 fine tuning. And then lastly is to check the end-to-end connectivity and save router configurations. So first, for the housekeeping, um, we're going to connect PC1 to R1 using the console. So let's click PC1 and then terminal. Okay. Then enter. So first we're going to type enable and then configure terminal, or you can do conf t. And then for the host name, so I'm going to do a host name R1, and then check the banner MOTD warning exclamation unauthorized person must not access this device exclamation. And then so let's check, is that the correct one? And then we're going to enable secret in Napa 55 exclamation mark, and then service, this is for the encryption. Oh, it's service, my bad. Service password encryption. There you go. And then line console 0 for the password, conta 55 exclamation mark, then login, exit, and then line VTY04, password vtypa 55 exclamation mark, login, exit. Now for the interface G00, description, link to PC1 plan, IP address 192.168.10.1, 255.255.255.128, and then no shutdown, and then exit. Next is we're going to do the next interface. Just interface G01. Next, we're going to do the interface serial. Interface serial 000. Then now we're going to do the router OSPF 10. And then copy running config start up config, and then press enter. Okay, so we have successfully configured R1 using the PC1. So let's check for the completion. So we have 29% already. Oh, okay, so we're going to close this and minimize this one. So now we're going to configure R2. We're going to configure R2 using PC4, as you can see here. So we're going to PC4, desktop terminal, okay. Then press enter and then enable configure terminal, and then so we're going to do the housekeeping. So I'm gonna pause the video first to skip all the typing. So next is we're going to do the interface. Okay, now we have successfully configured R2. So let's check for the progress first. 55% completion. So we're going to close this. And then we're going to move with the R3, configure the R3 using PC6. So we're going to desktop, terminal, and repeat the same process. So we're going to enable, configure terminal, and then we're going to do the housekeeping again. So let me skip. I pause the video and skip all the typing. Okay, so I'm done configuring R32. So next we're going to configure all the switches by moving the cable. So let's check for the completion first. So 72% already. Okay, so let's close this. So now we configure the switches. So let's start with the switch 1. So click this and move this to switch 1 and then to the console. Then go to PC1, terminal, and OK. And then we're going to press enter and then enable. Then configure terminal. And then I'm do the housekeeping too. Okay, so I'm done configuring switch 1. Now we're going to switch 2. Just drag this and then go to switch 2, then console. Configure terminal. Okay, so I'm done configuring switch 2. So let's check for the completion first. 72%. Okay, so I'm done configuring switch 3, but I don't know why the completion is still the same. But let's move on. Okay, so let's configure switch 4. Then we're going to configure switch 5. Now we're going to configure switch 6. Okay, now we're done with the switches. So now we're going to change the PCIP configuration. So let's start with the PC1. Subnet mask, and then get gateway, and then let's check for the completion. As you can see, it's 75%, so that's correct. So close this, then go to PC2, desktop IP configuration, static, and check for the completion. That's correct. And then go to PC3. Check for the completion, 80%. So let's move on with the PC4. Okay, let's check. 83%. PC5. Okay, so let's check 86, and then let's go to PC6, IP configuration static. So completion 88%. So let's check. Although it's only 88%, as you can see here. I might I might I might need to debug the switches, because during the configuration of the switches, I think there's no percentage completed that is added. So I'm gonna go with the PC1. Oh wait, let me change this to R1 again. Go to R1 and then command prompt, and then let's try to ping ping PC6. Okay, so 3 out of 4 times is succeeded. However, why is my percentage here is still 88%? Also, I cannot do the check results. So I don't know what mistake I have done. Wait, let me debug the configurations first. Okay, so I cannot seem to find the remaining 12% for this activity. I'm guessing it's from the switches, because when I was configuring the switches, there's no additional percentage added to the completion. However, upon trying different fixes, I still can't get the 12%. But as you can see here on the command prompt, when I pinged PC1 to PC6, um the ping is successful, which means the connection is good. So that's it. That's it for my activity. Thank you. So I'm going to save this. I can check the results, so I cannot check which is not which is the incorrect part in this activity. So after this, I'm going to save it. Save it.